Hello there, and welcome to a chat with Pam over coffee or whatever you like to drink, within reason. This is a Christian channel. No. If you don't get that reference, that's okay. Well, what am I going to talk about today? The first thing you might notice is I am kind of cuddled into the couch. I have a blanket, I have comfy clothes, I have a candle. And you might be thinking, it's spring, what's going on? Why does it look like, the middle of January? Well, it's because outside it does look like the middle of January. Yesterday was sunny and fairly warm for this time of year. There were puddles forming everywhere. The snow was melting. You could see bits of grass coming through, and the sky was blue. But today, it's just a white washout, like winter wonderland. The sky is the same color of I'm looking out at it right now. So the sky is the same color of white gray as the snow. So everything is just cold and snow is falling and it's beautiful. It's beautiful unless you're anticipating spring. But that's what life is like in Alberta, Canada. A lot of times we have all kinds of jokes about springtime in Alberta. There's even a song. What's his name? It might come to me. But there's a springtime in Alberta song. And it's often like this. But what do we want to talk about today? I don't want to bore you with the view out my window because it looks like, in Bambi, that movie, when the mother says to Bambi, "Winter has come to the forest." It reminds me of that. Okay, so as you know, if you've been hanging out with me here a bit, I went on a trip. I went to a place called Three Hills. Three little bumps, actually, they are. It's on the flat prairie. So anything, that's over, I don't know, like 20 feet is a hill. But that's what it's called. And it's the town where Dylan and I and our kids lived for over 9 years. And it has a special place in my heart, but mostly it has my very good friend, Marianne, and I got to see her, and that was awesome. But first, on the way down, I had a job interview. So I stopped for a job interview in person. They were going to do it over Zoom, but because it's supposed to be a remote, distance learning teaching job. But because I was coming through, they said, "Yeah, we'd love to see you in person. That's way better." So I got all dressed up, and I arrived there, and it was a beautiful day. And as I'm walking towards the school that I'd been to many times in the past for different conferences and things, I suddenly started to feel this sense of panic. And you might be thinking, yeah, well, it's a job interview. But you know what I think was happening? You know how your body remembers? And the last job interview I had was for the school here in the town that I live in now. And in that interview, I actually went into diabetic shock, or I don't know exactly what you call it, but my body completely started shutting down, and I didn't realize I had diabetes at the time. But I ended up having to, run away basically halfway through the interview, maybe like 20 minutes in, ended up in the hospital. They found out that my blood sugar was sky high and did some tests, and that's when I got diagnosed. So I think that the stress of that interview kind of came back. And so I walked in there and I felt really confident, but I could feel this rising kind of panic feeling. And I was like, oh no. I pulled it off. Like, it went well. Glory be to God for that. But I was reminded of how, yeah, that panic can hit you at inopportune times. And I got the job, so that's good. Yeah, it doesn't start for a bit, but like September. But they're going to get me online learning some of the things I need to know. And so, yeah, that is, I'm excited, but I'm kind of like, maybe you can tell by my face, I'm kind of apprehensive too, because I have such a history of jumping too fast, jumping headlong into opportunities. You know, my last video on Monday, I talked about the fear of missing out and how that's kind of caused issues for me all my life with not being able to say no. And so I do get a little bit like, is this the right, am I supposed to be doing this? But I think it'll be fine. I just have some of those nerves when you're starting something new. And I'm like, when am I ever going to be not starting something new? You know, I think, yeah, when you stay in the same place or you stay in the same job for a long time, I admire that. I think that's great. And it hasn't really been my experience. I've had to keep reinventing myself, keep putting myself out there. And in one way, it keeps you sharp, right? And so I'm happy about it in some ways, but in other ways, it's like, oh my goodness, can I just settle into something, you know, for like 10 years? Can I just stay at the same school, teach the same courses? I don't think I've taught the same course 2 years in a row. It's always been split grades, new curriculum, and yeah, it's been a wild ride. There hasn't been anything kind of, you know, settled, peaceful, calm, routine. I've never been, you know, bored. So I guess it's good in that way. But it's sometimes I could use a little boredom. Okay. Can we just have a little boredom? Anyway, fortifying sip. All right. This coffee chat is not going in any of the direction that I thought it would. So bear with me. Glad you're here. And I want to talk about my friend Marianne and how much fun we had. We had a wonderful time. Now, I had said I wanted to go see my son, and I didn't get to see him. And I talked about that on my live when I was on the way back from Three Hills after going through a crazy blizzard. So yeah, if you want to hear that, you can check that one out. But be forewarned, I lose the signal like 3 times, and I also drop the phone. So, but it's entertaining. I mean, what was I saying? Okay, so I didn't get to see my son, and as a mom who loves her kids so much, it did kind of break my heart a bit, but I understood. It just wasn't a good time for him. And honestly, it would have taken like 5 more hours of driving, and I didn't have that much time. And so it was really special to be able to just really spend time with Marianne, focus on her, and got to see her family, her husband Earl, and some of their kids. And even I got to see a couple of her grandkids. And that was really cool. So what did we do? All right. Oh, we went to the bookstore. Okay. They have a bookstore there that is to die for. The whole top level this is like a really small town, but they have toys for kids. It's an absolute wonderful place for kids. They have home decor things. They have scarves. They have beautiful purses. They have candles, mugs, tea towels, and a dazzling array of journals. I mean, if you're there, you gotta go. And then downstairs, the whole downstairs is used books arranged invitingly on tables and bookshelves. And it's just, honestly, I could spend probably an entire day there easily. I just need to, there used to be a coffee shop next door, and that was perfect because you could go to this little, coffee place, have a, muffin or a cookie and a beautiful coffee, and then take it over next door and walk around and look at books. And yeah, but anyway, I got, this was only $4.99 used, another Maeve Binchy book. I've read this one probably twice, but it's one of my favorites. And so whenever I see a Maeve Binchy book, I just have to buy it if it's in good shape because I just love her, and I am excited about reading this yet again. And I also got this Mother Goose book here because I thought, I don't have grandchildren, but I might one day. There's a chance, there's a possibility. And this book, I was like, this would be so much fun to read. It's probably backwards for you, but that's okay. You can, I'll just show you pictures. But all of those Mother Goose rhymes, and then there'll be a series of rhymes, and then there'll be this gorgeous illustrations that have all the little, allusions to the rhymes that are on the page before. And like, as I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Each wife had 7 sacks, and in each sack were 7 cats, and each cat had 7 kits. Kits, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives? I just love, I used to think they were weird, and they are still kind of weird, Mother Goose rhymes, honestly. But then if you see on this page, there's the 7 wives. So it's really fun to look at all the gorgeous pictures. And I thought, I just have to get this book because one day I might get to read it. And in the meantime, I might read it to a niece or nephew or something like that. But we had a glorious time in the bookstore. And then we had a lovely walk. Now this walk was along the fields and kind of up towards those 3 hills I was talking about. And it's a walk I've taken 1,000 times probably. In the time that we lived there, it's along a road, there's a path partway, and then you're just walking along this kind of country road, but it's paved, and there's beautiful fields in the summer, and in the winter, you can see the sunrise, sunset. Sometimes you're walking along there because it's a prairie. The moon will be rising on one side and the sun will be setting on the other. And I don't know, it's just a really nice walk. I do miss that walk. But we went on it together because it was pretty good weather. And it was so fun to reminisce. And we had a great conversation. But even with the conversation, I was noticing the people that used to walk on this when we lived there. I mean, obviously, nothing's changed. Like, the same people were out for a walk that I used to always see when I was out for a walk before. The same people were driving by in their cars. And it was such a blast from the past. It was like stepping, back into a storybook or something where everything's the same. And I can't quite explain, but if you've done that before, if you've gone back to someplace and everything is the same, you'll know what I mean. So that was great, a great walk. Then we went for coffee. We went shopping in like dollar stores, and we saw a pet store. We just had a delightful time. And we went to a restaurant that we'd gone to so many times, where we used to always go for coffee, and we would have sweet potato fries. That was always our thing. We would share sweet potato fries, because they make them there. Awesome. They're nice and crispy and hot and just glorious. And then you could dip them in this ranch dip, and I think it's like a chipotle dip. And I don't know. It was just fun to do that with her again, and catch up and just see some familiar faces too. I also in the music store I went to on my way down, I got this Over the Rainbow little song from one of my voice students, and I got some music books. Yeah, I didn't really spend a lot of money though. Everything was either on sale or I had a bunch of points towards it. Oh, I even got these earrings there in the bookstore. They sell jewelry made by local artisans in the bookstore. So it's really a great place. Well, that was a wonderful time, reminiscing with my friend. We had a great time. Well, thank you for coming along for another little coffee chat, and I'm glad to see you. Yeah, it's snowing, still snowing. I'm gonna have to go shovel. I thought my shoveling days were over, but apparently not. Maybe in May, maybe by May, we'll have, hopefully. Well, have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing. And I will see you again for another little chat really soon.